All right, welcome into our high school preview. This week we do not have Dr. De'Eric Sparks. He is on a hunting trip somewhere up north of Iowa or somewhere like that. Yeah. But we have two very special guests that are doing a lot for the community where these guys are from. We've caught on to them on social media, started following them, and they're doing a lot of good things, a lot of positive vibes for a lot of kids in their area and kind of over into the area where we are. So we definitely want to bring those two guys on, Josh, sorry. Look at him. But anyways, those two guys are Matt and Todd, and I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves individually now.
Matthew McKinney.
Todd Dean.
And my first question, you guys kind of seem almost grassroots like we did. Oh, yeah. Kind of came up in the same structure as Average Joe's and doing almost identical as we do. Every time you say something, I was like, that sounds like us. It sounds like us. That way. But yeah, talk to us, man, about what gave you guys the idea to do this and kind of jump-started you.
About 6 years ago?
Yeah, honestly, it kind of started like that.
Just goofing off, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did it at the house, and I actually set up my phone to do a YouTube spot. So, well, yeah, it's easy. You just go in there and hit record. Mm-hmm. We'll put it on, and my cat will jump up on the table. And it was funny. It was good. So we kind of always wanted to keep that humor in the show a little bit. And we've known each other forever. He's a few years ahead of me in high school, but we've known each other our whole lives. His mom and dad was actually my principal at Cedar Bluff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Mine too.
Yes, that was pretty bad. That's a bad situation.
You get it at home and at
school too.
Yeah. So we just did YouTube, and I mean, we talked football, and there's our other friends would come on the weekends and hang out. We're watching ball. It just kind of.
I sent it to somebody, but they never responded.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah. We had something in Georgia. A guy was doing a news radio station, and he was like, "Well, they didn't want to cover."
Well, the guy didn't want to cover any college ball. Right?
He didn't want to do college. Like, that's what we want to do. That was the college thing. And I thought, we know where we're at in town, and my son at the time was like, 12 or so. So he's getting into football at that age, and I'm coaching Pee Wee. And you start meeting people and coaching, and he's been around his whole life, and he's played at Cedar Bluff, and he's coached over in Georgia for years at Cedar Bluff Center, Douglas.
Yeah, all over. Right.
He's been everywhere. So
looks bad, but
it just kind of grew, and it's hard to say how. We just kind of kept rolling with what we were doing, and like I told you, we talked earlier. We did a bowl pick'em on Christmas. So hey, we'll just get out there and play.
This is Christmas last year,
right? We just say we'll pick bowl games, see what happens. So here's SEC, and here's what the Big Ten usually does. Here's the win losses on that. And here's who we like in the games, and we'll come back after. And we'll talk about who won or lost.
How'd y'all do?
We did pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. This was just on internet radio, though.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Local guy.
Yeah. So
we went to school with.
We just kind of kept doing it. And I knew at some point, I told him, remember, we'd talk about for about a month, said, hey, then we're going to have to go live at some time because we're going to be at the games Friday, and then we're going to talk about the game Saturday. We can't record Saturday and play Sunday, play the show. So I just put my phone up, and my wife actually went to Walmart and bought me a little tripod with a light on it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll give him full credit for that. That was his idea. I actually didn't want to.
Yeah, he was a little skittish with the light.
Skittish about that.
And I'm a ham. I'm a big show guy. I don't care. I remember breakdancing in front of my grandmother's restaurant when I was a kid. I'm
nice.
I don't care.
I wish we had footage of that.
That would be great. Just get the kid with the glasses, with the 80s glasses, the big round ones, and the buck teeth, and the stupid plaid shirt.
Our views have tripled.
Yeah, and we're average about 400 or so a week.
About 400.
That's good, man.
And the area and what we do, it's always about for the kids. And Cedar Bluff is a small town. They don't get a whole lot of light. Over there at Galesville, Spring Garden, you had some of their guys on. I watched that show. Coach Howard, he was a big draw for our show. He's fun. He's great. He coached and taught at Cedar Bluff my sophomore year. So we know Coach Howard very well. And he talked about a lot of old stuff and players that he coached at Cedar Bluff. And
they've got a good team, too.
He would stay on and talk for hours, man. Coach Howard loves football, basketball. He coached basketball at Cedar Bluff.
Those are really good guys.
I think it was 2 hours, 15 minutes that night.
Yes. He'll stay on and talk with you. So we just kind of went from there. I mean, we did the YouTube thing and just kind of kept piddling with it and pray about it and where God leads you and to do. And if one kid hears, the Word of God somewhere in one little part of the show, and just make a kid curious.
That's something that's a lost. Oh man, you better believe that's something that's a lost art form now. And even and I'm not taking a shot at him. It's just facts. It's fact. Even in local newspapers and stuff, you can't say God or whatever.
Say Jesus.
Yeah, but say on our show, I actually promote it. So
right.
I won't go out and say something to start the conversation, but once that can of worms is open,
Right.
I'm like, hey, we actually love it. So yeah, you
Right.
guys go ahead because it is a big part of everybody's lives.
Yeah.
But like when you guys started your YouTube channel and your Facebook Live and your page, how long have y'all had you guys like a Facebook page and that up?
We probably went about
Social
6,
media.
8 weeks.
February.
Probably
Yeah.
February. Right after
Yeah,
COVID
because
hit,
I
right
think
after.
Okay.
we did a 24/7 from Josh Pape, his show. I watched him a lot, kept up with him before he was even on the 24/7 team. I love the college recruiting. That's my thing. I like to dig in that, and I love digging in high school stuff and seeing where the kids are going. And we did a big bust on breakout on Tank Bigsby when he was
He's
coming
doing
in.
pretty good, isn't he?
And Pickens from over down here at Hoover and going to Georgia. So, that show was a podcast because I went back and found it.
Right,
So
right.
that was Valentine's Day. So we went live right after.
And then the COVID hit.
Then COVID came. We were literally doing the
been
show.
fun,
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
We
crazy
went on
every
every
day.
week.
And we went on during that when that was happening. We go off and Ethan, boy, he's our Braves guy. He does all our baseball. He was there at the house. He said, "There's something going on, man." And I think it was CP3. I could see him mouthing on TV. Said, "What's going on?" And we turned it on. They left, and I went right back on live and said, "Guys, there's something going on. I'm on my iPad right now. They're clearing the arena."
Yeah.
And he already had he's a big time NCAA basketball. He does a lot of that stuff. So he was fixing to do his bracket,
Oh, yeah.
and it all got shut down. So
That day, well, Wednesday and Thursday.
It's definitely changed everything.
Oh,
yeah,
it did.
probably 7 or 8 months we've been hitting live on Facebook.
It made it tough, though, didn't it?
Oh man, yeah. What do you talk about?
February, March, April.
We were
May.
doing like greatest teams ever. We were doing who was the best running backs at Auburn? Who was the greatest
Yeah.
We were
quarterbacks at
doing like
Georgia?
Mount Rushmore challenges and
Yes.
positions.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were finding old games
Yes,
on YouTube,
absolutely.
just to keep people engaged. Because
Exactly.
it's like if we don't post anything, we're going to lose our audience.
I know, yeah, that's what I mean. We're just trying to start this
No,
live
no.
account, man. How many times can I post USC in Texas with Vince Young all in the end zone? That's the greatest college ball game ever. How many times
Yeah,
can
we
we
did
post that?
greatest moments, running backs
Yes.
of the 80s, 90s.
We did basketball. We tried to do.
So you guys dabble in pro and college and high school?
Oh,
We don't fool with pro much.
Not a whole lot.
Just after colleges, maybe deep playoffs. I don't even know if we've mentioned pro this year, have we?
A little. We'll
A little.
do because we come on Sunday night Facebook at 6. So Monday night football was okay. The Saints and Chargers playing tomorrow. We like the Saints there. Drew Brees is playing pretty good. Something like that. But then we just kind of go through. We're
Super Bowl.
We'll try to do a lot of
obviously.
local.
Super Bowl, yeah.
We try to give our Cedar Bluff and Spring Garden Gainesville. They're probably a lot of the show. Our brackets and our playoffs are coming. We did a lot of that. And but
Obviously,
college.
we go over the college.
The people who's like trying to find you guys, how's the easiest way to find you on like Facebook? Do you guys do Twitter yet or no?
No, I got a Twitter. I've shared it a few times, but it's really hard to get in on that. I have a Instagram that my wife set up, and that's kind of weird. I've had some videos load on Instagram.
I've recently been battling Instagram on our page. It kicks me off, and I can't go link the two no more.
Yes, I know.
Something weird's happened. Reggie handles all of our Twitter.
We can't Twitter. Me and Mo.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't have the patience. But that's where all the kids do it. I mean, like all the athletes.
Yes, right,
do.
yeah.
But the people looking for you, they look up Matt and Todd on Facebook.
The Matt and Todd
Matt and
show.
Todd show.
Matt and Todd
Go
show.
Facebook, get the search.
Yeah, so all you average Joe's folks, go out and find Matt and Todd.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We
Absolutely.
we like linking up with guys like you that's positive minded guys that are in it for the right reasons and doing I mean, this is kind of what it is. You're doing something that's needed. We're living in an age now, and you and I talked about this
Yeah,
earlier.
it's changing.
You used to wake up on Saturday mornings when you used to bust your butt all summer and lift weights and sweat and grind to go play football that fall and get out there and bust your butt in that game and get beat up just to see your name in black and white.
Oh, I
Look, I
know.
made 2 tackles.
Yeah.
Well, I missed going to get the paper. I mean, I remember 10 years ago to go get the Gadsden Times was pretty exciting.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now,
It's another world.
I know,
But
they're not
you know,
even in there.
you
They're not even
guys
in there
are-
on Saturday.
They're not in there on Saturday no more. So you guys are doing a lot of good things, and man, I can't thank you enough, and we definitely want to get our followers to check you guys out. And
Well, I
we
appreciate
love
it.
networking, man, because
Yeah, we do.
where you guys are kind of like on the fringe where we're not, so we always like to cross market and help each other out.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Definitely.
And these guys are going to sit in tonight with us and probably be in here when we do some of these interviews. So that's going to be good for
Yeah, we
everybody
appreciate
involved.
it.
You get to meet a lot of
Yeah,
people.
well, it's great to meet all you guys, and what y'all have here is just a great setup, and I know everybody starts somewhere, and we appreciate y'all for reaching out and just giving us a shot to come down here, and talk about our show and kind of how we started. And we watch your show, and I've been watching for a while.
y'all's too.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
I enjoy the coaches stuff, those breakfasts with Benefield and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that, man. And Paul's so
They're going to win it
modest.
again.
I don't know.
Oh,
Man.
you
That's
really
what it
can't
is.
say, can you?
And hey, I tell you what, we got to look at we got to look at this the other day, and
I
honestly,
think they are.
well,
I can say that, can I?
you can if you want
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your show. He can't
Oh,
say what you can.
You can say whatever you like. But I got to looking at the other day. In order for them to win, honestly, you got to think about this. They have to beat Ohatchee. They have to beat Ohatchee. No, wait. They would have to beat Welborn or Piedmont, whoever loses. Ohatchee at Ohatchee, and then Piedmont, just to go, and then whoever's out of the South,
Then whoever's
and
out
obviously
of the
their
South.
first round opponent.
Tough.
You can play
We just-
three of the
we've
top
been-
5 teams in the state.
We've been
Oh,
following
yeah.
them for so long. Coach Benefield and Fives program. You go up there like that playoff game. Who did they play that night? It was 21-0 at half.
The
And
fan.
Brent went.
You're talking about Booby Whitlow was their
Right.
quarterback.
Oh,
Yes.
Booby Whitlow
We
quit.
were down there, and
Did
it was
he?
just
He walked off the field
Yeah.
at halftime.
yeah, we were there,
They
and
were
it's
hitting
like,
so hard.
how does he get? I mean, it's just and that's just amazing. We're just Coach Benefield just.
I know y'all got other things to do, but what happened to Booby?
That night?
No, now. He
Oh,
played-
yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we ain't heard nothing.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing from
I got
him.
friends
Did he
that
transfer
graduates
or
at
what?
Auburn. Yeah, he did. He did.
Where did he
He did
go?
transfer.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
not sure where he went.
I mean, I
Figured
got,
he transferred because of
I know what
time.
happened to him that night with 5. he didn't come back out for the second half.
Yeah, he seemed pretty frustrated that night.
everybody gets frustrated with him, man.
Yeah.
They run such a tight program, man.
No, man,
We've been
they're
calling.
We'll have a good story to tell you off the camera. I can't tell
Yeah.
you if the camera's rolling.
He went to Western Illinois.
Did he do anything?
It just says he enrolled at Western Illinois and will join the football team for the spring 2021 season.
He's good. He rushed for 100 yards against Alabama.
He's good.
They're
Yeah,
D1
no
AA, so
No doubt. He'll probably do pretty good over there.
Now, one of y'all's local teams here, Coosa Christian, is coming to Cedar Bluff Friday in our homecoming. So we're gonna play Coosa Christian.
You get to ask him some questions here. Man,
Well,
what-
Mr. Dale,
yeah, Evan Dale.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will be here, but I know there's some players coming.
Yeah,
some of their
We
guys.
talked to Coach O'Brien earlier today.
yeah, that's a tough group.
He starts 6 8th graders and 1 7th grader on their bus.
Wow. Gonna be good.
Amazing. Yeah.
We're going to shut this segment down, guys. Please sit in with us, and I'm going to go grab some guys, and we're about to get the show rolling.
All right.
Great.
Thank you guys so much, and on
Thank
to our
you.
next.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we are in the house with the Ashville Bulldogs. Before we go any further, let's get this out in the open. 3-0, my man. 3-0. I've called down the Savarese. It is okay for you to take those on the road. So now we're looking for an undefeated Asheville team. Next season, we're going undefeated all the way through.
Yeah.
There's something about these jerseys, Coach, but we'll get into that in a minute. Coach, last week, well, before we do that, let's introduce yourself and who you got with you today.
To my nearest right, I got junior running back and linebacker Cole Hyatt, and to the furthest of my right, I got sophomore fullback and defensive lineman Ashton Mostella.
Sophomore.
Mostella?
That name carries weight around here, my friend.
Yes, it does.
Were you kin to Chris C. Moss?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He's at my house all the time, man. It's an unfortunate accident. He's a really good friend of mine, man. Coach, but take us back to last Friday night. You guys come out with a 38-14 win, and a little more special than the normal game because we got to eat lunch with your dad, and I got to come out there and visit pregame with your dad through the walkthrough. You guys seem really loose, and it looks like it carried over into the game, and from what Reggie told me, it obviously did.
Well, it was a good team win. Anytime you get a region win, it's big, but that was actually our first region win at Asheville since 2017. So it was a big one, but like I said, these guys played extremely well, played extremely hard, played very physical, very disciplined football. I think we only had one penalty on the night, so I was very proud of that. We didn't start the second half the way we wanted to, but we responded. I thought our defense played very well all night, like they had the majority of the season. Offensively, we were able to just kind of do what we want to do, and that's run the football, control the clock.
Hence the name Single Wing Monroe. Reggie, talk to me.
Man, it was like you said, the defense. They were on fire. I don't know if you saw my tweets from doing the game, but I think the defense had recorded 3 sacks in a row, and I tagged every news media out there in this sweep, but 3 sacks in a row, and I thought y'all were going to get the guy in the end zone at some point because he was running for his life all night, and I mean it was a good experience. It was a great game. Running backs did a great job. Luke had another awesome night. He came and was kind of pushing for player of the week again on the sideline after his touchdown.
I like
He said, hey, have y'all had anybody win player of the week twice? And I was like, I don't think we have.
Not in the same season. It's always a first for everything. Let me ask you two guys something. About midway through that season, this season, something clicked and that defense started playing at another level. Can you guys talk about that and maybe something that, from a unit standpoint, what's been a little bit different that's made you guys really step it up and start playing like you have been?
I felt like this season is just we had something to prove. Like no other, we had something to prove because coming into the season, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh well, y'all gonna be a 1-win team, 2-win team," and it didn't sit well with me.
That kind of stuff fuels you, right?
Yes, sir.
Same question to you.
I agree with them. People kept saying that like we weren't gonna be a good team and stuff, and so we came out on defense. We started hitting hard, and we started getting better, and it rounded up to all of that.
You used it as motivation.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, even, the game that really stuck out with me, I mean, it was a game you guys actually lost, but the way y'all fought in that Etowah game with the miscues and special teams, the defense just kept hitting them dudes and hitting them, and I was like, man, these dudes are legit. And then now y'all think y'all found y'all's identity offensively with a man right here singing wins. Hey, man, it's old school. I love it, dude. We love it at the channel, I'm just waiting the coach gets those heckling home fans that says, "Who the bug?"
Oh, they're coming.
Oh yeah, they're coming.
I think I may have heard that.
They've already stepped. Yes, I knew it.
Get them burgers.
Ben Phil Martin, they talk about it all the time. There's always that guy. There's that guy there. Coach, looking forward though, you guys have Fultondale. It's going to be another challenge for you. Talk about those guys and what kind of challenges they present for you.
Well, they're very athletic. They got some really good skill players. They haven't won a game, but their record is not indicative of the type of team they are. I think Coach Dover does a really good job with them, but for some reason they haven't been able to put it all together. But they got enough talent to scare you. They're going to make you play in space, so we're going to have to do a good job defensively, running to the football, tackling well in space, and just doing our job. Offensively, it's just going to be more of the same. We're going to do what we do, and we're just going to try and do it better than what they do.
I love it. And you two guys, I got a question for you. Talking about heading down the stretch to close out this regular season here, talk about the importance of staying focused and getting better each week and making these games count, each and every one of them.
Well, it's very important. If we win out this season, we'll go 5-5, and the last time Ashville has went 5-5 was in 2005. So it's kind of big.
This is huge.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Same question to you about closing out strong.
Well, we need to go 5-5 because dang, hold on.
No, you're good.
Because
We got an editor right there, brother. He can take out anything.
we haven't went that high in Asheville in a while. We haven't won that many games in a while.
Carrying that Mostella name around, man, that carries weight. In Asheville, my man. Big time. Big time. Coach, as always, man, it's a pleasure to have you on. Reggie, go ahead, brother.
We may have discussed this before, Coach, but the no headset thing for you.
Yeah.
Is that are you just more comfortable not wearing a headset or?
Well, and here's how I feel about it. My job as the head coach is to make sure everybody's performing. To me, there's a couple of types of different head coaches. There's the one guys like Paul Benefield, Scott Martin, Steve Smith. There's the list goes on and on. Those guys can call plays and still be really effective at what they do. And then there's guys like me that don't feel like they're as effective as a coach calling plays and managing the team. I love coaching because I love the players and I love the kids. Yeah. So, I don't. If I want something done, I'll just walk over to the coordinator and say, "Do this."
Right.
But more times than not, I'm more worried about how are our kids responding, what's their body language like, because I feel like at our place, ultimately, and we talk about it all the time, is just believing. If you can just believe and you can trust each other, then, it'll take care of itself. And so to answer your question, yes, I feel more comfortable not wearing that.
Coach, the Carhartt toboggan was pretty sporty.
That was Academy special, baby, $9.
And Mom made
Shout
sure,
out Academy.
Mom made sure you had it on.
Coach, I appreciate you guys and you guys as well. You guys make sure you get you something to eat. And you get anybody else got anything?
Thank you for having us.
Hey, anytime. We're on to our next. All right, we are in. Our next game is going to bring us to the Etowah Blue Devils, who's actually on a bye week last week. Although the ASHAA keeps trying to tell us you played Brindley Mountain, you didn't. They said it on the radio the other night as well. But I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, starting over here to the far right.
I'm Brandon. I play tight end.
I'm Jacob Sanford, play defensive end and fullback.
Ashton King, center.
Trace Thompson, quarterback.
All right, guys. You guys had an off week. You got the word early last week that Dora wasn't going to play. And there for a couple of days, you guys were gameless, basically. And then you picked up a real tough Sweetwater team who's got basically 10 state championships and 26 region championships. One of the toughest teams in the South, 1A, but I promise you they have better than 1A talent. But before we get into that game, let's talk about what you guys have worked on in the off week. We start right here with Trace.
Offense. Spreading the ball out, getting to everybody, all the receivers. That's really it.
For you specifically, since week 0 to now, how much more comfortable on a scale of 1 to 10 are you at playing quarterback?
A lot more comfortable. I got a lot more confidence and just got the groove of it.
Absolutely. And you play center, right?
Yes, sir.
So talk about what you guys worked out in the offensive line. You guys have improved steadily each week, it seems like,
Yes,
this
sir.
whole season.
I think that we had to work on filling in the gaps when the backers come and picking them up and just making sure we got gap sound and everything.
You play against a pretty raw defense every day in practice, so I'm sure that helps.
Yes, sir.
And from your standpoint, I know you play defensive end and H both. What did you get to work on this week?
Well, really a good bit of both, but for defensive end, it's been or for the whole defensive line, really, we've been working on a lot of finesse and hands, and then I'd go with them and the skill guys and work on routes, and then we'd work on blocking and filling up for pass protections and stuff, because I'm usually in on pass protection some too.
So you're basically a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Pretty good at that, man. Brevin, how you doing, my man? First time on the show, correct?
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you in. What'd you get to work on? I know you're a mismatch on about any tight or any linebacker in the state. With your height and jumping ability, what all did you get to work on this week?
We put in a lot of new routes and plays, and that's all I do. And some days I go down there as a lineman and do pass protection and run blocks.
Last game you guys played, you actually got to play some quarterback as well. You used to play quarterback, I heard, over in Georgia. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
You ran the option some?
Yes, sir. That's pretty much all the thing we ran.
I like it. I like it.
You
That's
like
good.
blocking or route running better?
Route running.
Dude, not even close. Let me ask y'all guys something. When y'all didn't have a game there for a while, and I know you got some seniors. None of you guys are seniors, right? Yeah, you're a senior. This is senior night coming up. How important is it for you guys to make a statement and win for your seniors on your team? Bradman, we'll start with Trace.
I feel like it's really big because this is our last home game of the regular season that they ever get to play at Etowah. So I think it's really big.
I think the seniors should go out with a bang. We should win big, but they're a really good team, so.
Absolutely.
It's going to be emotional because, a lot of the seniors I've grown up with playing.
You and Toby's best friend, huh?
Yeah, me and him, we've been getting after it this year, but it's really just doing your part and helping them win their senior night, so doing 111.
And Brevin, for you, did you ever imagine, when you was, first getting into varsity and JV, that this night would ever come?
You got here a lot faster than I expected.
That's what I'm saying, man. We get that answer from everybody. It's like you snap a finger, man, and it's here. It's insane. Anybody? I got some more questions. All right, have y'all guys got to watch film on Sweetwater? I know they run a wing T and they run it real effectively. What have you guys seen from their defense?
We haven't got the film yet, and we haven't got to watch that.
Just coaches.
Yes, sir.
I like it. So no film.
No, sir.
Well, I got some. Coach P called us in there on Friday, and we got a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah. They run a little bit of wing T and some blue.
I got some family.
Hey, now you play defensive end. You and Toby's got to set the edge on this one, man, because them guys hit the edge, they're gone.
Yeah, that wing T's tricky to defend, though.
You better believe it. And it puts you in a vulnerable situation as a defensive end. So yeah, you can't play on your heels.
I won't say names, but there is a coach who looks at film. The first thing he looks at is defensive ends, and he can tell you a lot about it.
Yep. In just a second. Guys, I don't want to hold you up all night. Hope you guys got something to eat out there. You're welcome on Average Joe's anytime. We're going to move on to our next game at this time. I appreciate you guys sitting in with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, we got Coach Brandon Wilcox on the phone with us on the Jars Rawls Running Walkers Forward hotline. Coach Wilcox is with the Center Point Eagles. He's the offensive coordinator. Coach Wilcox, you guys had a bye week last week, and it wasn't by choice. Your opponent had to forfeit the game last week.
They didn't want that smoke. That's what I was trying to say.
I don't know about that, but yeah, unfortunately we got the forfeit win, due to the pandemic, and we've been real blessed that we haven't got it, and none of our opponents have got it up to this point. So we knew there's always a possibility, and unfortunately, the team we were playing had some kids test positive, and so anyways, it kind of gave us an unforeseen bye week, I guess you can put it, but it's kind of good for us because we was able to get some guys healed up a little bit, and I think hopefully it worked to our advantage.
Yeah, you guys had a couple of losses early in the season, and you kind of, I think you guys made some changes on offense and moved some people around, and you found and it looks like your offense got their groove and started moving the ball, scoring a lot of points. Talk to us a little bit about that. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we had you on, so talk to us about some of the changes you guys made on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I mean, first off, we had a lot of guys that just haven't played. Some of them haven't played football. Some of them haven't played the position we're asking them to play. So we kind of, just went through some growing pains, and me coming in June, and we're still kind of understanding the system and understanding our personnel, and not only what they can do, but who needs to be out there or who needs to be in what position. So, we did make a quarterback change. We went from Troy Bruce to Jabari Collier, and I think that was a really good move for us. Troy's, I don't know how many yards he has now, but I know it's well over 1,000. Right?
Oh yeah,
one of the top running backs in the state. 15 years old.
Yeah, he's killing it, man.
The Jabari's getting better every week. I've seen a ton of improvement in him just the last week. He's just starting to understand, how to play quarterback at the high school level. He's a 15-year-old, both of them are sophomores. So, I think we've been inconsistent. We've had the ability to make big plays, and we've kind of done that all year. But a lot of times we've got inside the 10, inside the 5, and stalled out. That's just things that good offensive teams don't do. And I think we're starting to get a little bit better at that, finishing off our drives. And, I think that's kind of been just the maturation process of this team is just learning how to play the game the way we want to play it. Offensive line, we finally solidified that. We feel good about the 5 guys we got up front. We're starting to pass protect a little bit better. And, me personally, I'm now, instead of throwing darts at the board, hoping this is the right play call, I kind of have an identity to kind of know where we are in offense. And I think that's helped us out a lot.
All right. You got a huge game coming up this week with Corner. You guys right now are sitting 3rd in the region, and that Leeds game. I know we talked off camera and everything about that game and what happened in that game. I mean, basically you're 3 points away from hosting a playoff game in the first round of playoffs. But still, you guys are in a position to make the playoffs as the 3rd seed out of that region. Corner is sitting 3-3. They're right behind you guys. Talk to us a little bit about that game coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Coach Bates talked to our team today about this. We're in playoff mode. We feel like from here on out, we're playing for our season. We can't, we lose the game and we potentially, I think we've locked a playoff spot, but the way we're looking at it is win or go home, and that's kind of our mentality, and that's what we're kind of putting in our kids' heads.
Yeah.
So this is a must-win game for us. We kind of know what region we're matching up with, and we kind of know what teams we're going to be playing, depending on the result from Thursday night. But if you know anything about corner, they've always got really tough, big, physical kids. And they're going to play hard. They're well coached, and we're just going to have to go out and execute the game plan, and we're going to have to match their intensity, give ourselves a chance to be successful. But we were watching film on them, and I was like, man, I mean, they got one defensive end, and I pulled him up on the roster. I want to see how big this kid is. He's like a creative player. He was like, I think seriously, I think they got listed like 6'6", 360. And I mean, moves pretty good. And then you look around, they've got a couple other guys that aren't too much smaller than he is.
Oh man!
And so they're going to be big and physical like they always are at corner. And we actually played them tonight in JV. And they had a receiver that I bet he was probably 6'3", 205. And we were kind of joking, we're like, we'll see him again in a couple nights.
hey, you might. You never know.
If he's not playing, he needs to be. If their coaching staff is listening, y'all need to put him on the field. That kid's a good player.
Speaking of your JV, I just while we were filming another segment, I noticed that those guys finished undefeated, and so did the middle school team this year. So with all the young guys you guys have on the varsity team this year, and those two teams having the year that they've had, the future is bright for Centerpoint going forward. You and Coach Bates have put in a lot of work, and I'm definitely glad that Average shows. We're glad we got you guys in the mix with us, and we're definitely looking forward to covering you guys going forward. We still got to get to a game at the Nest.
Oh yeah, wings up, baby.
Yeah.
Well, Thursday night, I got you a ticket. Y'all come on.
So y'all playing Thursday night?
Playing Thursday night at the Nest, baby. Come on.
This Thursday?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're in.
We can definitely.
We're in.
We can definitely wrap up our coaches shows and head down
There
there.
you go.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'm putting you down.
All right,
Coach, we'll be there. Quick question, Coach. A team this young, has it challenged you as a coach with patience to know that, hey man, have you ever been in a situation to have this much youth and have to be at a new job and then have that much youth that you got to kind of coach the fundamentals and then try to do what you try to put in your package, like you said earlier, throwing stuff against the wall. But has it challenged you more as a coach than any other season you've had?
I don't know if it's been the most challenging because we've got a really good staff here, and I've been at places where sometimes I had to do a little more than I've had to do here as far as coaching more positions and that kind of thing. We've got Coach Bly does a great job of offensive line. We've got Coach Brazier that does a great job of running backs. We have Coach Wright who does an unbelievable job with the wide receivers. Then I can kind of coach the quarterbacks and kind of do some other things. But, overall it's because we do have a good coaching staff. And a funny story, I think maybe my second or third day there this summer, we had practice and Coach Bates called me a couple hours after we had left the field house, and he said, "Hey, Coach, you got some good guys on staff." He's like, "I can tell, you're a competitor." We were just getting to kind of know each other from a coaching standpoint, knew each other personally. But he said, "I can tell you're a competitor, but let those other guys coach too, because I'm pretty sure I was probably out there stepping on everybody's trying to coach all 11 at once." And so for me, it's been a breath of fresh air because honestly, like I said, I've been in places where, we just didn't have as many coaches and we didn't have as many quality coaches. And so, you definitely got to be patient with those guys, and you've got to take the good with the bad. Sometimes we just do boneheaded things that 15-year-olds are going to do, but you use it as a teachable moment. You let them know, hey, we're going to fix it. I still believe in you. I still love you, and we're going to get it right. you know, because we do have such a good staff there, and the coaches do such a great job, it's been good. It's been great for me. You know, but yeah, you do have to test your patience from time to time with these young guys, no doubt.
We'll be there. I gotta go do the Etheridge show in Oxford, and Reggie's gotta do Ali up here. And when that's over with, we will link up and we will be there.
Hey, sounds great, guys. Thanks for having me on again this week.
All right, Coach.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you having you on. And again, guys, this is the Jars Rawls Running Watkins Ford hotline. We had Coach Brandon Wilcox from the Center Point Eagles on tonight. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
All right.
On to our next. All right, our next game is gonna. I always mess this up. The Central Clay Vols, Clay Central Vols.
Clay Central.
But we'll let this young man clear this up for about the 15th time this season. The PA announcer for Clay Central on the Jars Rawls Ronnie Watkins Ford hotline, Mr. Tommy Wood. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Guys, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing very good. One last time, what is the official name?
Who knows? Central High School Clay County, and for a couple of years I was doing the PA, and I started off and I called it Central Clays, and so I said, "Oh yeah, it's kind of Clay Central." So you know, it's a little answer to a lot right now. So I mean, it's pretty much, you know, it's whatever you want to call us, we'll take it, I guess.
All right. Now, you guys had an off week, and Coach talked about the importance. We had him on last week, and he talked about the importance of healing up and getting some guys healthy, and he was going to move a few guys around and get some different looks with some guys. How did that work out? You know, with your son being on the team, the long snapper, what did practice look like last week for you guys?
Well, Monday and Friday they took a couple of days off, which was good. I think they were all kind of, you know, after that game at home, they were physically and mentally tired. You know, you can tell they were not as sharp as they were earlier in the year. So I think those 2 days helped a lot. And really, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice last week, they were not as physical as they've been going through from, you know, the first 8 weeks of the season. So I think it did a lot of good. I think it rejuvenated them. I know that today practice, from what I understand, went pretty well. But yeah, they are looking at some different players in some different spots, giving a few different looks defensively. So kind of excited to see what we see Friday night.
Interesting. Sounds like Coach Horn is getting his guys ready to make a run through the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope, you know, his teams always get better as the year goes on, and that's always fun to watch. And you know, it seems like every year it's really been neat to watch how he finds the players early on in the year that can contribute, and then as the season goes on, he's brought some players along, and we have a lot more depth week 10 than we had at week 1 and 2 because some of those players have developed and gotten better, and they can now not just, you know, maybe play one position, they can play 2, and then some of the guys that might not have gotten a chance early in the year have worked their way into some, you know, quality playing time. So that's really going to help down the stretch, and I think that's something that he's been really good at the last few years, and I hope that's the way it rolls into this 2020 season.
Tommy, talk about Tallassee in general, who you're about to play. They run an old school, unique offense like Notre Dame box. They look like LSU, but they're a very dangerous team running the football. Talk about them a little bit.
You know, absolutely, and that's the thing about it. When you play a team like that, you've got to be disciplined, and you can't, you know, you can't get caught looking around. You've got to know your keys, and that's something defensively that you always worry about. And I've said this for years, and I know you guys do a lot with Coach Benefield at Fight. His offense, to me, is so hard for a team in the playoffs to get ready for because it's something you don't see a lot of. And when you get to the 6 or 7, you've had, you know, 3 or 4 days to try to you know, replicate that, and you just can't do it in practice. And that's kind of what this week is going to be all about: your defensive keys, staying at home, being in the right position, and then just let your athleticism make a play. But yeah, it's hard because you're not going to see, you know, the offense that we're going to see from Tallassee Friday night. You won't see it again probably the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Another thing, I want to ask you this personally. How special has this been to watch your son and be a part of the program like you are, and to see your son out there performing like he has been every Friday night? How special is that to you in general?
Man, it's hard to put into words, honestly. You know, it's something that, you know, me being involved in high school football for, you know, 30 plus years and everything, and have a son. And, you know, and there was a few years where he really didn't care about playing football, and he didn't want to. And, you know, then when he decided to come out last year, he was very limited in what he knew and could understand. And, you know, I asked him, you know, at the end of the year, I said, are you frustrated because you're not playing? He said, I don't deserve to play. These guys are so much better than me, and they know so much more. He said, I've just got to be their cheerleader, their best teammate. That meant a lot to me to see how he's grown as that. And this year to contribute as a long snapper and the success he's had, and now the recognition that he's been getting is just amazing as a father. And but I, you know, and my wife will tell you every time he goes out on the field, I'm sitting there talking to him. He can't hear me, of course, but I'm talking to him the whole time that we get that snap done. So you know, but it has been a special year for me, and it's one I'll never forget.
Man, it's so great as always to have you on. You definitely dial us in like never before with Clay Central, and I appreciate you, Tommy. And looking forward to having you back on because the playoffs, brother, you're going to have to be our anchor, brother. We need you.
Man, I look forward to that. Got a couple of good ball games this week. Thursday night, I'll be doing that ATV game. I've got Ramsey and Pleasant Grove. That's going to be a war. That would actually we'll be on Channel 68 out of Birmingham this week. So if folks around the Birmingham area can pick up Channel 68, we'll have that one Thursday night, and then going to be a lot of fun there. I had a chance to check out Oxford last Friday night, so I've got a good year so far. Just see it's outstanding talent.
I wish you would have told me you was at Oxford. I was at that game. That one got ugly fast, but I'd have come and talked to you before I got out of there. I left there and went to Lynette and Randolph County. It's the second half. Go ahead.
That was one of those games I didn't know I was doing until about 1 o'clock. They had one of their announcers that got sick, and they called me at the last minute. And, you know, I'm that guy that's just willing to jump in there and try to do whatever I can. So had a good entertaining time, and I'm gonna tell you that Oxford machine is something to watch. So they're an incredible team, and they're a lot of fun to watch. So been a great week, and like I said, we've got another great return on Thursday night. And I was actually working on that as you guys called. So getting ready for that Ramsey Pleasant Grove. It should be a huge Class 5A game.
All right, brother. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, and looking forward to having you back on.
All right, anytime, guys. Y'all do a great job.
Thank you. On to our next. All right, now our next game is going to bring us into the Oxford Yellow Jackets, coming off a huge win over Springville last week. They have a very, very massive game in front of them right here against Fort Payne. At this time, on the Josh Rawls Ryan Watkins Ford hotline, we have Coach Keith Etheridge, 5-time state champion and my friend. 5-time state champion and my friend on the hotline. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
My man, I'm doing great. How are y'all, brother?
We're doing really good. I'm going to tell you something that's a hilarious story, Coach. I had Jay with me when we came down to the locker room last Friday for the game, and he looked at me 10 minutes into it, and he said, I have never in my life seen a more relaxed coaching staff and team than what these guys are. This is unbelievable. He was talking about how your vibe, you guys gave off this vibe of just like a family and how relaxed everybody was, and it's right before a game. He's used to the other, spectrum where everybody's so uptight and going crazy. But I told him, I said, that's Coach Etheridge, man. Talk about your style in general a little bit.
Well, my philosophy is, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Good Lord looks out for people who do right, and we're just going to treat everybody like their family. And I don't get too uptight. I'm not an uptight guy, and I think I've been blessed to play for 6 state championships and win 5 of them, and I think that has a lot to do with it. If you don't get uptight, you just relax and you let your kids know that it's just another game, and we're just going to play and give everything we got, and it relaxes them, and they're able to play and focus on what they need to focus on, and our coaching staff does a great job of that too.
Jay was talking about, hey man, they're in there watching Jurassic World and chilling out. But Coach, I know last week was a big win, and you got a lot of young guys in, and Trey doing what he does. That guy's unbelievable. Talk about Trey for just a second before we move forward.
Well, I can sit and talk about him all night, but the bottom line is he's a winner. Trey's a fantastic young man who gives glory to where it's supposed to be, and that's God, and to his teammates, and that's one of the things that makes him so great. The kid can do anything. He can run it, he can throw it, he can shine your shoes, he can do everything.
and he does it in such a way that's just so positive, and it just as a coach, it makes you proud to coach him. And I know his parents are super proud of him and the people that are close to him, and he makes every kid on that team feel like they're the most important guy around, and that's huge. He's a leader.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. On and off the field. Big win. A lot of people got to play. Talk about that Springville game a little bit before we dive into this Fort Payne game.
I think we jumped on them pretty quick. Defensively, we set the tone early. Went down, had a big hit on the kickoff. We kicked them first, and just sort of set the tone defensively, and got the ball and went right down and scored. And our kids really feed off of each other. We compete real hard at practice with offense versus defense and vice versa. And then when we get in the game, once we leave that practice field and we're done, getting after each other, when we get in the locker room, our kids are tight, so they're real tight with each other, and they're a close-knit group. And, I think that helps once you get on the field. They're over there cheering for each other. And, Springville's got a good football team. They've got some big wins this year, and, it's just one of those things where we're playing together right now. And I'm real proud of our guys right now.
Your pregame speech, I loved it when you talked about whatever level of football there is, people all the way up to the NFL, the games that they all remember the most is Friday nights with their brothers they grew up with. I remember you saying that in the locker room. That really touched me and a lot of other people in that locker room, I'm sure.
Well, there's nothing like Friday nights. There's nothing like high school football. You can play college, you can play at the next level in pros, and but the thing is, it's a purity of college, of high school football that you don't get other places. You're going to remember those guys that you play with for the rest of your life. I'm great friends with some of the guys that I played with, or you are too. You just don't develop those relationships like you do in high school anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Coach, you got a pretty big game coming up this week with Fort Payne. It's for the region championship. What are some of the things you've talked to the guys about this week's game?
We're ready to just staying focused, and playing good football and doing what we do, not focusing too much on worrying about what other people do. Just do what we do. Play our style of ball. Fly to the football on defense, rally to the ball. Play hard. Play physical, and on offense, play smart. Make every play that you're capable of making. If there's an opportunity to make a play, we got to make it Friday night. We want to win that region championship. And, Fort Payne's a great team, and we're gonna have to play great to beat them. Yeah,
that's what I was looking at. I was looking at their scores. I mean, their scheduling. I mean, they started the season out 0-2, and they haven't lost a game since. So they're definitely on the roll. And I've had a chance to see them play, and that's a very talented team. So I'm sure you'll have your guys ready to go Friday night.
Absolutely. They're good up front. They're good on the back end. They got a good quarterback. They got two good running backs. They got, they're big up front.
Yeah.
They got the best kicker. I think they got the best kicker in the state. He's phenomenal. And that's why I told our guys, I said, we're going to have to keep him on the other side of the field. Just to keep him getting free. I said, because this kid can boom it.
They cross the 50, they're going to score some kind of way.
Absolutely. And that's what we have.
Yeah.
And we got to do a good job of preparing for that and making sure that, we don't give up any big plays,
Absolutely.
Coach, how are we going to settle this competitive spirit between Cochran and Wagner?
You're not.
we're going to have a cornhole tournament or tic-tac-toe or hungry hippo, or we got to figure something out.
We're not going to. They get after each other on the field, and they're like the kids, though. Once they step off that field, they love each other.
Oh, yeah.
Our kids feed off that stuff, and I think it's special. We got a special group of coaches, and I can't say enough about all of them, not just Coach Cochran and Coach Wagner, but all the coaches on staff.
Williams, yeah.
And they're ultra competitive, and usually your players take on And I think our players do that. You know, I think, you know, guys like Trey that's played for Coach Wagner, you know, Trey is ultra competitive and he wants the ball in his hands. And, you know, guys on the defensive side like Tavares Elston and the Fagans and all those guys, they got that swagger. And they, you know, if the ball's in the air, it's theirs. You know, they're bringing the wood every single play, and you know, it's a special place to be right now.
Absolutely, Coach. It's a machine. As the guys, Matt and Todd, who has a similar show to ours, was in here, and they were talking about it earlier. It's the Oxford machine. And Tommy Wood, who is the Central Clay announcer, just said the same thing. He was on right before you. He said he got to come watch you guys and call the game last week, and
yeah, it was awesome having him in the booth.
That's what he said. He said, man, that is just an absolute machine. But, Coach, it's a weeknight. I know you're busy. I'm looking forward. I will see you Thursday. You and I sit down for the Keith Etheridge show.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate what y'all do for the kids, guys.
Oh, absolutely, Coach. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
All right, God bless y'all. Have a great one.
All right, you too.
All right,
on to the next. All right, our next group of guys in, the Southside Panthers, fresh off a big win versus Scottsboro and actually a playoff berth. But before we go into that, who would have thought that, man? How awesome is that? Before we go into that, that's massive.
Like everybody said, they won't win a game in 6A.
I heard that all summer. They're not going to win any games in 6A. Got a 2-8 team in 5A, and then they go up to 6A and doing what they're doing. It's unbelievable.
But from talking to Coach Nelson, we knew.
Yeah.
We knew that.
I knew it before I left his house that day that this is going to be a special group. But before we dive into this, we're going to let you guys introduce your name and position right here.
Garrett Orr, O-line, D-line.
Eli Martin, middle linebacker, running back.
Will Warwick, O-line, D-line.
Alden Battles, receiver, DB. Hayden Fry, H-back, linebacker.
Cody Roberts, wide receiver.
Start right back with you, Cody. What is it this year, man? There's some kind of secret sauce. It's just totally different. I mean, it's a lot of the same faces from last year, but it's a total different revamp, new attitude. I want each one of you guys to answer that. We'll start with Cody.
I mean, Coach Nelson just makes it fun for us, really. I mean, we get excited at practice, too, so just a whole nother energy.
I've come out and watched you guys practice. You're right, it's a different energy level at practice is awesome.
Just the coaching and energy that he brings.
I mean, it's just the energy we have going out there. I mean, it's just insane out there. Everybody's jumping around and everybody's having fun.
Whole mentality about it.
Coach Nelson just changed the environment completely.
His attitude's infectious, and it gets us all ready for practice and everything.
He made people want to come to practice, actually. Like last year, we didn't have a lot of people that were really serious about our team, but he made people want to come play for Southside.
So now basically what you're saying is like if somebody misses practice last year, it's like,
yeah.
Now if you miss practice, like the whole
yes, sir.
The community's like, hey man, what are you doing?
Yes, sir.
We need you. I love that. All right, let's start back right here. It's an off week this week. What do you guys think? What are you going to work on personally, and what do you want to work on as a group?
Well, me specifically, I'm going to be trying to heal up and get back better again because, you know, I've been having some slight problems in certain areas. They make fun of me, but, you know, my wrist hurt and all that, so I'm trying to get that healed up this week.
That's what off weeks are for.
Yes, sir.
I'm just really trying to recover as much as I can, get ready for Etowah.
You still averaging about 20 tackles a game?
Not sure I haven't counted that.
Yeah, just recover and fix mistakes.
Absolutely.
Trying to get your legs back under you.
You wore out often?
Not really.
You've been dicing people up like a chef, man. Hayden, you've been. There's always a hammer and a nail, and you're a claw hammer, my friend, or more like a sledgehammer. But
Yeah.
what are you looking for this
I was
off week?
trying to recover, really, get my legs back underneath me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what they said. I mean, recovery is key.
No doubt. Take us back last week, the Scottsboro game. You knew going in, did their quarterback play that was so talented? He's out.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Do y'all know? Did he go out in y'all's game, or was he not?
They broke his ACL.
He broke his leg.
Or something like that. It
I
was
think
a
he broke his leg.
He was their game breaker. But what did y'all see from Scottsboro? What led to that victory last week, and how good did that feel knowing we won this? We don't have to wait on nobody to lose. We earned the playoff berth. anybody in that
We
swing.
came out swinging real fast immediately. Started scoring immediately, ran up on them. They couldn't catch up.
I love it. That's the difference in Southside, though, man.
Yeah.
Who was it that was here week 1?
Was it
Hayden?
No.
One of y'all was telling us about his pregame speech in the Lincoln game.
It might have been me.
It may have been y'all too, where he said, you know, we're not going over there to win, we're going to dominate.
Yes, sir.
And everybody was like looking around like, no, I'm not joking. He said, we're fixing to go dominate these dudes. They score on us, we're going to be, you know, PO. Trying to be PG on here, guys.
Yeah.
Which Coach Nelson is PG.
Yeah, he is.
But Reggie, what is it about this group, man?
I don't know. It's a different group. We've had Alden and Eli.
We've had everybody on here.
We've had them on before, and just their overall mindset is different from last year to this year. And Coach Nelson, I mean, he's a great guy. You know, I talked to him briefly last week, and I mean, you can't help but like the guy and what he's doing at Southside. I'm very impressed with what he's done, and it's good for Etowah County football when our teams are doing well. You know, it's not just Southside. It's good for Etowah County football overall to see y'all doing well.
Everybody.
So hats off to you guys.
You guys anything? We've kept up with them, you know, through the year. We're kind of more the Cherokee County side of it, but we've been, you know, keeping up with your games, and y'all have just continued to progressively just getting better every week, and you can see it by your scores. And we're looking at rushing stats and see, you know, the tackles are going up. Y'all doing a great job. You know, keep up the hard work, keep working hard. I promise you it'll pay off. And for you sophomores or juniors, you know, you get to come back. So just keep working hard.
Yeah. I mean, and to kind of put this in perspective, they are two-point conversions away from just having one loss this season.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you.
I mean, that's a lot. And if Coach Nelson is not up for 6A Coach of the Year, something's wrong.
Oh, dude, yeah, drastically wrong. And our hair tournament's about to drop. We always bring this up. We got some dudes in here. Hayden, pull it off, man. Let's see what we're working with. It's the Southside shag, baby.
Shake, man.
I got the Southside shag. Alden, we got Roberts. We got some shag going on, brother.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, guys, we're not going to hold you up. I appreciate you guys coming in. I think all you guys got shirts, correct? Y'all got shirts? Okay, all right. Guys, good luck on your off week, getting healed up, and then we'll see you when you play the Etowah Blue Devils and Jay Green up there. All right, we're out.
All right, guys, we're on to our next game up. We got the Gadsden City Titans in the house, and we'll start over here and let you guys introduce yourself with your name and position.
I'm Jaden Larson, receiver.
Jackson Veazey, nose guard. CJ Miller, running back.
Jackson, what grade you in, man?
I'm in the 10th grade.
10th grade. Good, man. All right, guys, y'all coming off another tough loss to Hewitt-Trussville last week, and another tough region game. Hewitt-Trussville's a talented team. They've got D1 guys all over the place, but I was at another game, but I was keeping up with you guys throughout, and it sounds like, you know, y'all put up a fight in the first half. Jay, starting with you, talk to us about that first half of that game.
In the first half, we came out ready to play. I mean, other than a few little mistakes, we were ready to play, and we came out and jumped out early and scored. But other than a few mistakes we had, I think we played pretty good in the first half.
Jackson.
Same what Jay Lawson said. We came out ready to fight.
CJ.
Same thing. We second half we got kind of lazy, like we were tired or something.
Yeah. Going to the last game of the season, what can you guys do to prevent that? I mean, have y'all talked about, okay, guys, this is our last game. We want to go out with a win for the senior class. Have y'all talked about that to prevent that second half lag from happening this week?
Yeah, we're not doing anything different. We're just gonna go out and play and just make sure that we finish in the second half and clean up the mistakes that we have.
Good deal.
Same.
You gonna ride?
Yeah, Coach Smith just been talking about this whole week since after Friday. Just go out as winners.
Going as winners, I like that, man.
He just said, this is the coaches. This is last game, and he the most winning coach in the state, and this is last game. It's gonna be packed and stuff. So, just
I really forgot about that. This is
This last game.
Yep, this is his last game. Buddy Anderson, 43 years at one school.
Wow.
So I'm sure you guys would like to go out there and kind of spoil that for him.
Yeah, that would be a answer to a trivia question.
That would be. It's something we could use later on down the line. Like I said, speaking of, well, we kind of jumped into that already. Got Miss Davy Hill's coming into town this week. Very rich tradition program. Like we said, Buddy Anderson's been there for 43 years. He's won a lot of ball games. I mean, have y'all had a chance to watch any film on those guys yet?
Yes. Yeah.
What have y'all seen from them on the offensively and defensively?
They're very physical. I mean, I feel like teams will look at them and probably think that they are not what they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're coached, disciplined, and they're a very physical football team.
The offensive line is
massive.
After plate, throwing elbows, pushing people.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that's Buddy Anderson. That's buddy ball is what they call it. They like to shorten the game. They like to run the ball. They just constantly like to run the ball. And yeah, they do. And I mean, that's kind of their brand, you know, at West Avia. And you look at their scores in this season, and it's like, well, they only lost to Hoover by 7 points. It's probably because they held the ball most of the night. You know, they'll sit there and sit on the ball until the play clock is about to hit 1, and then before they snap the ball. So that's one of those things you gotta deal with.
That means you gotta make every possession count.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What's something Coach Smith's been kind of preaching to you all season? You know, just going through all the adversity. What's something he's been kind of, you know, what's one thing that he's been keeping constant as far as no matter wins or losses?
Honestly, just staying positive, keep playing.
Believing in your coaches.
Yeah.
And teammates.
Yeah. And that's something I've seen that's different from you guys this year versus last year. This team, y'all don't hang your heads. If y'all make a mistake, instead of getting upset about it, y'all come to the sideline and say, "Hey, let's fix it. Let's fix it on the next possession." Instead of getting upset. And I think that's a true test to Coach Smith and what he's trying to get you guys to believe.
No, talking about your coaches, like Coach Clifton and Coach Beckett,
Watson,
and Coach Watson. Those are some new guys, and I know some of you guys are a little older, so these are like new coaches for y'all. How the relationship chemistry with your coaches, with Coach Watson and Coach Clifton and all?
They said Beckett was funny.
Coach Beckett, I love Coach Beckett. I was a head teacher. Man, before every game, he tells me, tell me something positive about you. What you gonna do tonight? Yeah. Can't nobody block you, man. This is the positive stuff before every game. You go beast, man. D1 college, man. D1.
You got your own personal hype, man.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the same thing from other people about Jackson. So
he's that way. We've known him for a long time. From back in the Collinsville days, we covered Cherokee County football mostly up there, Cedar Bluff and Center, Spring Garden. We've known Alan for a long time. Yeah. He's just a great guy. He's like this tall, and he's full of energy, and he can bring that energy like he's 6'6" out there on the field.
Yes.
Yeah, we're glad y'all are. The season started off good. We hope y'all have good luck and be best day. Finish out for the seniors and for your coaches, and leave something for those guys coming up behind you.
Thank you.
I will say this, I was at the Thompson game with Reggie. The score is one thing, but y'all kept fighting the entire time. And that was one thing I took away. Like, y'all boys did not stop. Y'all just kept, you tried your hardest every single time y'all went out there, no matter offense or defense, or special teams, which matters to me a lot. But, other than that, yeah. So y'all just keep balling for real. I know y'all it's going to be big things coming.
Just from talking with Coach Smith, he gets me fired up every time I talk to him. How are his pregame speeches?
Depends.
He's got a different mood every game.
Yeah. I think the Spain Park pregame speech hadn't been a good one because I still see the run through tunnel. It was just shaking before y'all ran out. I'm like, okay, the band's done with the fight song and the football team still hadn't ran out yet. So I'll just say he must have given him a pretty good speech before that Spain Park game. But yeah, and like Josh said, talking to Coach Smith every week, I do the coach show with him every Thursday. When I get done talking to him, I'm like, how many years of eligibility do I have left? You know what I'm saying? I did play football, but he just gets me fired up and want me to go out there and play. And had I had somebody like him in high school, I probably would have played football. So football is just one of those sports I didn't want to play.
He's always been like that. He's always getting. I see him now. He's the same as he was when I was in high school. Yeah. He's when they hired him as the head coach, I knew I was like, this is gonna be a good thing. And I know y'all gotta love him having him as a head coach. He's a player's coach about anything.
different moves before every game. He might
Funny
just,
too.
yeah,
Tell
funny.
funny.
Oh yeah.
He might just come up to you and bump you. Let's go, man.
Yeah. Get a little shoulder pinch right there.
He has his hands in those pressure
The
points.
pressure point, yeah. All right, guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. Good luck to you guys this week. I will be at this game. I had to go cover some other teams last week, but I will be at this game, and looking forward to seeing you guys pull off this win this week.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, and we're on to our next.